the game shop. Let's all go to the game shop. Let's all go to the game shop and buy ourselves some swag. Hey there, true believers. Have I mentioned recently how important it is now more than ever to support your friendly local game shop if you're lucky enough to have one? If I didn't, let me just remind you that I was in our local mall yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yesterday. And I counted six game shops in the mall alone, none of which are carrying tabletop role-playing game product or even anything vaguely game related. In fact, they're 90% Funko Pops and Hello Kitty. This is what happens when your city doesn't support tabletop role-playing. Do not let this happen to you. If you have a friendly local game shop, support the fuck out of it. Speaking of friendly local game shops, it's time to take a look at what's on the shelves this week as we slowly begin the crunch towards con season. But don't take my word for it. If I mention anything you're interested in, call ahead and make sure they have it in stock. And if they don't have it in stock, see if they can special order it for you. And be patient, because remember, Diamond/Alliance is still going through the bankruptcy, so it could take days, weeks, months, or even decades before a product that's ordered reaches you. All right, so right at the top, we've got Crown and Skull from our very good friend, Hank. Runehammer. Runehammer has his own store, and I thought this was already out, but this is Volume 2 of the Crown and Skull role-playing game. If you're a fan of the index card role-playing game, which I am, this might be something for you. It's $50, which does seem a little priced, but if you're aware, even partially, of the amount of work and art and stuff that Hank puts into his products, $50 will seem worth it. If I have a tabletop role-playing game inspiration, Mount Rushmore, the guys who inspired me to do what I'm doing now, Hank has got to be top of the list. He's such a great guy. I've spoken to him via email a couple times. He's given me some really good advice. Yeah, so we've got more stuff about dungeons and tips and techniques and skills and all sorts of other things, all for his Crown and Skull tabletop role-playing game. So yeah, this is definitely one of those things that could be worth it. I still got my copy of index cards sitting on the shelf. It's just that good. From our friends at Crucible 7 for Warhammer 40K, we've got Vow of Absolution for $40. This guide to the Absolvers chapter of the Adeptus Astreus, stationed within the Gilead system. That means nothing to me, but I assume if you are a fan of Warhammer 40K, those are words that mean something to you. This has got advice also on running and scaling vast military actions and some adventures. So if you want to bring your miniature game into your Warhammer 40K game, fantasy role-playing type stuff, you can. And if you want to bring the role-playing into your miniature game, you can, because they cover things like action-based and military and stuff like that. So you finally can use that 10,000 point army. From Space Penguin Incorporated, congratulations, you have won this week's award for best name of a game company. We have the 7th Doom Quest of Dialochrome for Dungeon Crawl Classics and Isle of Hex for Dungeon Crawl Classics. Well, you guys know I love Dungeon Crawl Classics, so obviously I can't say anything bad about this. I don't know. The 7th Doom Quest of Dialochrome, I guess there were 6 previous quests that Dialochrome sent you on. So anyways, the $30 book is about observations, about the history of the wizard Dialochrome and his various adventures. Is this an adventure or a book? It's obviously based upon Purple Planet. I actually think this is a book, a 48-page novel, not a game. It says a visual atlas of the Purple Planet Volume 1 for, DCC. And yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. It reads like it is a novel / art book that is somehow connected to the role-playing game and not actually a supplement for the role-playing game. Isle of the Hex is a sand island crawl sandbox filled with action, terror, comedy, and despair. It's an entire island waiting to explore, including all the island stuff and aliens. So basically everything I love. Aliens, dinosaurs, pirates, undead, comedy, island, my favorite setting. From Wet Ink Games, we have Bile in the Streets, From Beyond the Veil, and Spit in the Dark for the Never Going Home role-playing game. Those are just horrible names for games, but I guess it's supposed to be inspire the feel of the game, because this looks like this is a World War I horror game. $20 each. Bile in the Street has you negotiating the path between the shifting borders of the nations and the murky alliances in the Austria-Hungary thing. And Sarajevo. We've got From Beyond the Veil, finds that the war has never been stranger and the world has been this deadly, includes 3 new magic paths, corruption scars, deterioration, and some adventures. Spit in the Dirt joins the Americans as they finally enter the conflict. The front lines have been stalled for years. The PCs are sent to break the stalemate. There's horror, war, World War I. So, okay, yeah. Never Going Home. What is Never Going Home? I'm going to say World War I horror. It won the 2020 Emmy Awards for Best Art. Yeah. So it's World War I Lovecraft horror. So, you know, the war has worse than you thought. It's awakened things that should not have been awakened. So now not only do you have to deal with the very murky politics of fighting a war in, you know, Europe, you got werewolves and vampires and slime monsters to deal with it as well. You know, the game I'm running on Saturdays was originally meant to be a weird War II guys in Jeeps versus dinosaurs game, but, you know, somehow it became what it is, and now they're going on to Expedition to the Barrier Peaks. We've got Cthulhu Bay and Forsaken Scriptures by Ares Games. Cthulhu Bay is $18. Forsaken Scriptures is $20. In Cthulhu Bay, players conduct an investigation about Cthulhu and unravel mysteries behind the cosmic horrors. You gather clues, weave together a story, and then probably die a horrible, painful death at the hands of a tentacle monster. And Forsaken Scripture is a collection of minimalist maps that condense into an adventure about architecture and dungeons and Lovecraftian horror. So, Cthulhu. When in doubt, make a Cthulhu book or make a book about monsters. Wait, OGGM, didn't you make a book about monsters? Yes, Anne. And aren't you working on a book about monsters right now? What are you saying? Yeah, that's what I thought. From Central Michigan University Press, we have Beguiling Whispers in Libra Genis Sui. Libra Geniceris Sui. It's something Latin. This is for 500-year-old vampire. Beguiling Whispers is $10, and Libra, whatever that is $25. Beguiling Whispers is a 36-card expansion deck that helps you facilitate more multiplayer play in the world of 500-year-old vampire. And Beguiling Whispers puts the deck in front of each cohort. Each card includes a short narrative text where you do stuff for the vampire. And then we've got the other one, which is a PC Vampires Musings. PC's right to share events, experience, and artifacts with fellow vampires to illustrate the PC's evolving journey. So this is a journaling card-based, vaguely role-playing game based upon the life of a vampire as it slowly meanders its way across the centuries and how it affects them, you know, and how they view humanity as a stuff. It's a card-based, journaling-based, can be solo, can be played with others. It's got a journal. It's one of those games where you're like, that doesn't really feel like a role-playing game, but okay. And we've got some stuff. We've got a rowboat and some debris. These are printed out 3D printers type stuff. They're $12 each. And you got a pirate boat for $12 and some just stuff that you might floating on the ocean for $12. So this is 28 millimeter 3D printed resin miniature terrain for $12 each. I don't know if that means you get the stuff or if you get the files. Am I getting the actual stuff or am I getting the STT files for my... Does not come painted. So basically this guy is printing them out on his 3D printer and sending them to you for $12. Well, if you don't have a 3D printer of your own and you want to do 3D printing and you need a boat, sure. But I don't know. I don't know enough about 3D printing to say whether this is a good deal or not. I mean, the guy's got to do the work. So yeah, if you need a boat, $12 is reasonable. I mean, maybe you could find a toy boat at like the 99-cent store if you really need a boat, but that would be like one of like a cute, blue Playmobil boat. Which, knowing me, I'd much rather play on my players than a real pirate boat. And you see this coming towards you. Oh, God, it's Toot Toot. We don't want to fight him. Look at that smile on his face. Anyways, and that's it for all the tabletop role-playing game product available at your friendly local game store, if you're lucky enough to have one. Again, don't take my word for it. Call ahead and make sure they have it in stock. And if they don't, if they can order it, and obviously, if I'm going to recommend anything this week, it's going to be this. Because it's Dungeon Crawl Classic, and I love Dungeon Crawl Classic. Or it's going to be this, because it's Hank, and Hank is a freaking genius. And if you haven't watched Hank's videos on adventure design and terrain making, just you owe yourself to go through the genius that is Hank. I would not be doing what I'm doing now had I not discovered Hank all those years ago and been inspired by him and Matt Bromond and a couple other videos to try and do my videoing now. Videoing now is an actual sentence, I think. I don't know. It's Friday. Leave me alone. Have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Until then, stay safe out there. And you know the rest. Like, share, subscribe, buy my merch.